Welcome, everybody. Good to have you all. Carol, good morning, everyone. CB, good morning, Carol. Barney, good morning, everyone. Hello, CB. Carol, hello, Barney. Did anyone watch Juice earlier this morning? No, I did not, Barney. CB, good morning, Barney. No, Barney, sorry. CB, no, I got up late. Miss Barney. Hey, C and Carol, Barney, I was just watching it. Very, very interesting about Nolan's case. All right. Maybe we'll just talk a little bit about it and you can fill us in here in a little bit. After we get done, you can fill us in.
To Barney, after you fill us in, send it.
CB, I have to check it out later. You might want to listen to it with tender ears close by due to F bombs. Carolina, good evening, everybody. Barney Dog, good morning, good morning. Pam, hey, Devil Dog and everyone. Pam, thank you so much for supporting the channel, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. Just give it another minute. I'm going to be eating my toast, so just give me a minute. All right, everybody. Well, let's get to it. Individuals come in, we'll just fill them in. Today, conversation, and it's going to be a heart throbbing conversation, is about the Hopkins daycare unaliving, how it happened as we know it of now, how the things unfolded. And it is very gut wrenching to say the least. Now, I want to illustrate a little bit before we get into that. I want to illustrate a little bit and kind of put ourselves in these type of shoes, okay? Now, if for any time you don't need to step out or mute it or whatever, do it, okay? I'm not going to get graphic, but if you use your imagination, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So a husband takes his child to drop off at a in-home daycare in Hopkins, Minnesota. He takes his child. As he's walking up, he goes to the back door down to where they normally come down, the basement. They have an area where you come down through the basement. And as he opens the door and he has his kid, I'm assuming in his hands or next to him, he hears some screaming in the house. Right before he opens the door, he hears some screaming. He opens the door and he sees a male subject on top of a female subject thrusting an object into her body continuously. Like almost, I would say, I wasn't there and they didn't say this, so I'll throw this. Probably he has her straddled on the ground and he's thrusting this object into her body. The man, like anybody, jumps back, freaks out, and he starts to grab his kid. And there was another child that was there watching this and screaming. And he takes the child, the other child there, and he takes off outside. So now he's got two kids with him. He goes outside, he calls 911, and then everything starts with the law enforcement showing up. But the imagination and the thinking of what that man felt like when he saw as he opened the door, probably never thought, probably didn't even eat breakfast. Probably didn't even eat breakfast. I don't know if he did or not, but probably. And that's the last thing he would have thought he would have saw, in my opinion. Maybe, maybe not, my opinion. And he goes in there, hears some screaming of some sort, opens the door to drop his kid off, and sees another man on top of a woman thrusting an object into her multiple times. Multiple times. Welcome in, Christine Fortunato. And so the idea that after that happens, apparently he takes off, goes into a closet, and unalives himself with a weapon. Can you picture that in your head? Think if that was you, man or woman, doesn't matter. Dropping off your kid, and the first thing you see is that. That's disheartening, man. That is like very disheartening. And the reason I describe it like that, not because to make it graphic, I describe it because that's what a lot of officers see when they go to some of these calls. This is the kind of things they see. In this case, the man who was dropping off his daughter, obviously, didn't expect that. But imagine you walking through that situation. I mean, I can put my head there. I've seen a lot of grotesque things in my life, but the shock that was involved in that, to me, it's crazy. Good morning, Oleg. So I give you that picture because I want you to think about that, because that's what we're dealing with in every day. These are the things that we talk about. These are the things that we regurgitate. These are the things that we see. Welcome in, Fin Fan. Appreciate you, my friend. These are the things that everyday officers, some more than others in bigger cities, they see. And then they're supposed to leave and go home and figure that everything, like they're supposed to just tune it out. Pretty Little Clues, welcome in, welcome in. And the idea that they would literally, you would see that. Now think about seeing that, maybe not quite the same, but quite often. Yeah. When everything comes back to perspective, everything looks like, wow. This is like, this is nuts. This is nuts. And I say this because I have literally, I have 5 daughters and a son. And I could not imagine the Big Ragu. Welcome in, Big Ragu. Thank you for being here. Click that likes, everybody. And I cannot imagine if that was me dropping off my kids. Now, just for what it's worth, I thank the Lord I never had to do that because my wife took care of our kids. But had I had to take and drop off my kids and have to see that, oh my gosh, that memory, that photo memory would have stuck to me probably the rest of my life. And yet, this is a glimpse of what officers encountered. This man encountered it first, but he grabbed his kid and he grabbed the other kid that was there screaming and ran out the door. He did the right thing, called 911. But think about that for a minute. What would you all think if that was you opening that door and seeing that? Because that's exactly what the RP saw. That's what he saw. And those officers, Barney says, those officers don't get to clock out right away and continue their duty. No. Welcome in, Rhythm and Clues. No. The idea that they have to take that home with them and literally try to process it, and you're high. You just went from here to when you got the call on the ride and went to here on the stress level. You're high. And then once everything has settled and you have to clean up that mess, and I don't mean literally, but have to process that, people expect you to just come right back down and be normal again. That doesn't happen, folks. This doesn't happen. Never happens. And I speak that from experience. It never happens. So why am I talking more? I just wanted to use this moment because we're going to get into the case, but I wanted to use this moment to give you guys and ladies an idea of what it looks like from the perspective of when now the officer walks in and sees this crime scene and then has to go home to see his kids, to have to go home and maybe even get another call somewhere else, very similar to that one. It's not easy, folks. And then you have to rehash everything, as April puts it. You have to go ahead and literally, you have to process all that. You have to literally pretend like what you just seen was just an odd anomaly, when in reality, this is the kind of stuff that is happening across the board in our global world. Yes, happening quite often. Maybe not with the object, maybe with the pew, maybe with a different type of object. Hell, maybe with a bat, like a baseball bat. My point is, that's an example. What this man saw is what an officer is going to see. And this man, I can tell you right now, is never going to get that thought out of his head. I guarantee you that. And the little kid that was screaming is never going to get that thought out of her head or his head, the little kid that he grabbed and took also with him. And that officer is not going to be the same. Dee, may I ask how you deal with those experiences? Today, I deal with it with I have to stay busy. I have to stay active and I have to take medication. Those things are the only things that work for me. Medication and stay very, very busy. Very busy until I am so tired that I come home, me and the wife talk a little bit, take my medication, and I'm out because my body is so worn out. And then you know what? I get up and I do it all over again. That's how I cope with it. Those are my coping mechanisms. I have done the talking and to all these different helpful, great, psychiatrists and counselors and all this kind of stuff. I have done all that. But after you do it once, it's almost like the same regurgitation over and over again. So that's what I'm talking about, what officers see on a constant basis. And although there's some, maybe not so many, but there's some unethical officers out there. There's a hell of a lot to put more on their line, more of their life on the line than what many people really sometimes forget. Not a problem, FinFan. Appreciate the question. So this bothers me because I have come up through similar situations in my career, and it has just been a whoa. And the person that says, "Well, I walked in a situation like that, and it didn't bother me a bit," kudos to you. Kudos to you. That's why we're not all the same. We're all different. So I wanted to use this case just to share with you all what one sees as an officer. This is just a piece of it. This is just a small piece of it. There's so much more. So when an officer is chasing somebody, or an officer is going to an unalivement of oneself with a shotgun, or an officer is going to a possible slaying with two individuals, whatever it is, understand he has to go home and process that. And he never really comes down from that high, that stress and that high that he just got off of. He never really comes down. I mean, he may come about halfway down. And then all of a sudden, here comes another call, kapow. Here comes another call, kapow. And that's all you see in your career. That's tough. That's tough. That is tough. And to think that anybody is able to just deal with that and be, it's just not feasible. So when you see a cop out there and he goes out there and he loses his mind, and he just he just saw the worst of the worst, and he loses it for that split second. I'm not excusing it, but I am saying I get it. I get it. When an officer goes to a call and then literally loses his mind, or when an officer goes home after several years of working and just says, "You know what? I'm done. The world is crazy and I'm biting the bullet." Happens quite often. It's not anything where anyone can sit there and say, "Well, he shouldn't have done this, or he couldn't have done this, or why would." I'm not talking about the bad guy. I'm talking about the officer that has to handle that situation. Dog, I see the pain in your face and deep in your eyes, sending you to the biggest hugs. Thank you, Barney. So I only say that for down the road, when you encounter an officer that you think this officer driving 120, 130 miles an hour down the highway, chasing the bad guy who just committed, for a better lack of words, an unaliving, and he gets to that scene and he grabs that individual, pulls them out of the car, and he's not playing nice with them. He's roughing his arms in the back and he's putting the cuffs on his back. Understand, those are the reasons. Now, I'm not saying it's always right. I'm not saying that it's okay to have a little excessive force or any excessive force. What I'm saying is understand the situation, what officers see, and take that and try to process that. If you saw that all the time, and some officers see it a hell of a lot more than others, without a doubt. So now let's get into the conversation. And like I said, if you pull out of the conversation, I get it. So this is the case of Hopkins, okay? The Hopkins daycare, in-house daycare that happened in Minnesota. And this is what the breakdown is, the brief, as they call it. The authorities have identified the people involved in the unaliving the taking of some individuals' lives and unaliving themselves on Wednesday, this last Wednesday. The suspect or the bad guy or whatever you want to call him, his name was Nathan Matthew Brown, 41 years old. Adult male, allegedly is the responsible person who did all this. And I say allegedly only because once everything gets sorted out, this is what they're saying. They have identified the female, Christian and Brown, 41. Thank you, Fan. Appreciate that. And a 7-year-old, what appears to be their daughter, 7-year-old Evie Ann Brown. 7-year-old, a 41-year-old. And then this individual was found in a closet taking his own unaliving, becoming unalive through himself. He was 41. And along the way, there was another individual. But that was at another residence, and that was an Alice Ann Brown, a woman found at a different residence in Burnsville home, where apparently the suspect in all this, and I'll just say the husband. I don't even want to say his name. The husband was staying with, I believe it was his mother or grandmother. I haven't got that cleared up yet, because apparently he was staying there. So he lost it there. Then he went out there, and that's probably why the sheriffs were looking for him and trying to get him to stop. I don't know that to be fact, this last part, but it would make sense to me, right? Somebody called it in, somebody said something, I don't know. Maybe they'll check the phone records, they'll check the call logs, they'll check everything to see what happened, and I'm sure they'll get a timeline as to, the bad guy did this, the suspect did this to his person in Burnsville, who is his probably either mother or grandmother, who he was staying with. And then he probably, this is only my guess, that he probably called his wife and said, "You're next." I'm not saying he said that. I'm saying he probably did, because the sheriff deputies were trying to get him to stop. So somehow there was a warning that what he had done. I'm just saying. I can't say the last part is fact. Would make sense to me. But everything else is fact. So the medical examiner has also ID'd Alice Brown, 78, the woman found dead in Burnsville home. Authorities have previously said that they believed her unaliving to be related to the Hopkins incident. So here is the backstory. Any questions? Thinking about those children, that they're what they had to see. Well said, Pam. Well said. Fan, understandable. Fan, I have utmost respect for police and military. What's the first thing I say to you? I know it and I hear it, and I thank you for your service, and thank you for, I get it. And I thank you so much for even acknowledging that, Fan. Much love and appreciation. Appreciate that. Carolina, thank you for supporting the channel like you always do. Thank you. Pam says, "Hey, Carolina." So the idea that anybody got any questions on that part so far? Man walks up to the house, Normally goes in, that someone yesterday said that, they go through the basement. That's how they get in. He went through the back, heard some screaming. He has his child either on his hand or has the child walking with him, little bitty. Opens the door, sees a man on top of this woman, thrusting an object into her body multiple times. Multiple times. Hears the screaming, grabs the kid that's screaming, takes a hold of his kid and gets the heck out of there and calls 911. Yeah. So the backstory is this. Hopkins police responded to the home at the 200 block of Tyler Avenue, north, around 9 a.m. in the morning. Probably didn't even eat breakfast. On Wednesday, after a parent arriving at the daycare called 911 as the violence was unfolding. He saw it happen. Police found 3 people unalived inside the home. You guys know who they are. A 41-year-old man, woman, and a 7-year-old little girl. All with the same last name. Authorities said the mother and the daughter were, now here's the crux of it. The mother and the daughter, the 7-year-old baby, the mother and the daughter were thrust with the object that he used to thrust into them multiple times was a screwdriver. Let that sink in. Think of what I'm talking about. A screwdriver. You know how hard it is to thrust an object like that through a body? Was it a screwdriver that he unalived? Yes, it was a screwdriver that he used to thrust into his wife, and now, as we know, his 7-year-old daughter. Multiple times. I mean, I don't know if you understand how a screwdriver, you think, oh, well, it's a point. No, it's not like you would have a knife, right? This thing is not like, this thing takes force, 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 force. You follow me? Imagine that pain. Imagine how personal that had to be on somebody with a screwdriver. It doesn't get any more personal than that. And then to think that you could have the audacity to do that to your 7-year-old daughter. Yeah, very well said, Fin Fan. Brutal, brutal, brutal force. Yeah. The individual, the suspect, went ahead and went into a closet and he unalived himself with his pew-pew. He had a pew-pew. See the difference how he could have used his pew-pew. Not that it would have made it any more nicer, right, to unalive somebody with a pew-pew, but I'm sure it would have been a lot less painful. Almost like it was so damn personal. He wanted her to see what was happening, what was happening, what was happening. To do that to a 7-year-old daughter. Yeah, without a doubt, everybody, you get it. And then that officer who comes and handles this call and gets there has to see everything that's laying there. Unbelievable. There was six other kids that were inside that home at the time. There were six. They were not injured. And they later reunited with their parents. The Hopkins daycare unaliving in Burnsville homicide involved a same family member. That was the 74-year-old. He wanted to see her suffer through it. Absolutely, Carolina. Well said. That is pure anger, without a doubt, Marnie. Without a doubt. Hopkins daycare in Burnsville, the homicide involved that same family, authorities say. So now let's go into what they had. They had a search warrant, details the attack and the evidence at the scene. Okay. So we're going to dig a little deeper in this. So according to the search warrant filed in Hennepin County, the parent who called 911 told investigators he walked towards the back of the home and could hear the sound of children screaming. Children, more than one. So you know they had to be hearing the screaming, the yelling, the pain, the victims who were getting thrusted with a screwdriver. You know those kids had to been hearing all that and freaked out and probably will stay for the rest of their life. Towards the back home and could hear the sound of children screaming. He entered through the back door and reported seeing a man on top of the woman. The warrant states the witness reported seeing the man armed with a screwdriver and was actively thrusting that screwdriver. Actively. To the victim, the woman. The witness also stated the man did the same thing to his 7-year-old daughter. Think about that for a minute. The children, they didn't give the ages of the children, probably because they were underage for one, so I didn't get anything on the children. The only thing they gave was the daughter because she was deceased, and that was a 7-year-old daughter. And the two others were 41 and 41. And then the lady at Burnsville in another location was 74, I believe they said. No doubt about it. Traumatized without a doubt, Fin, without a doubt. Because walking through something like that, even as an officer, I guarantee you that's going to be, especially if he has young kids as well. So he entered through the back, did all that, what I just told you. He then stated that the man then thrusted the screwdriver into his daughter. Think about that. He saw it. I mean, he would have been freaked out. The parent grabbed his two children. Oh, he had two children, not one. Two children who were inside the daycare. So he was coming there. The parent grabbed his two children and two other children. Okay, so he has four kids. He doesn't have four kids. He has two of his own and two that he's taken out of there. The parent grabbed his two children and two other, I thought it was only one, and two other children who were inside there, probably the ones that were screaming watching this, and took them out of the house and left the home, and then he called 911. That's what's according to the warrant. When officers entered the home, they found the woman and the little girl unalived on the kitchen floor. True that, Barney. Barney says, I hope that surviving children names are never released, but some people have loose lips. Yep, no doubt. No doubt. And some officers are in that same bracket, to be honest. They found him on the kitchen floor. Investigators recovered the screwdriver at the scene. So they have the weapons. Authorities later found the man was unalive in a closet on the home's upper level from what appeared to be a self-inflicted pew wound. The witness told investigators he had received a newsletter. So here's a little bit more information. The witness told the investigators he had received a newsletter from the daycare owner about 2 weeks before this all happened. 2 weeks. Good morning, Marianne. Good to have you. That he received about 2 weeks before the unaliving that she was going to be closing her daycare due to relationship issues with the man, according to the warrant. So it appears that there's been some conflict, and this is why, in essence, at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, they categorize this as a domestic. And the idea that she was going to close this daycare because for some reason him and her were not getting along, or whatever the case may be, they were closing down literally the daycare. Was that the thing that pushed the husband over the edge? I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. But maybe she just couldn't take it no more. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she was tired of the fact of what she was dealing with him. I don't know. That is true, Van, without a doubt. Well said. Said that they would be closing the daycare due to relationship issues with the man, according to the warrant. Police previously said the two adults were believed to be the daycare owners and lived at the Hopkins home. So that home that they were doing their daycare out of, they also lived there. That was their home. However, police did note that the suspect may have recently been living with a 78-year-old woman who was found fatally unalive by the use of a with the use something was used to thrust her into her body. On this one, they're not saying what it was he used. They're just saying it was an object, and she was literally unalived with an object that he thrusted into her body. 78-year-old woman. So the man had no remorse for his 7-year-old daughter. When I say remorse, it's pretty damn obvious he had no remorse for nobody. Didn't care two iotas for his 7-year-old daughter because he unalived her the same way he did with his wife. who was 41 years old. He unalived the 78-year-old family member, what I would have to assume was either his, probably more likely was his mother or grandmother, but I think it was probably going to be a mother because he's 41, she's 78. You're talking 30, 31 years. Yeah, I think it's going to be probably the mother if I had a guess. Could be the daycare kept the finances flowing and he lost it when she was going to shut it down. Yeah, yeah, very possible. Very, very possible. But he did this to the 78-year-old woman who was found fatally at her home. Now, they're saying domestic abuse can be hidden. And these now the experts are coming in, weighing in, why sometimes, people don't call on their domestic abusers because they think it's going to only cause more violence and they think they're only going to cause more problems. And they think that, they're afraid and it's probably better just to live with it. It's better just to live with it than it is just to go ahead and get out of it, you know. And that's so true because I've handled numerous domestics. And I've always told the two individuals, hey, my concern is that one of you, this is what I would tell the people that I encountered, okay? One of you sooner or later are going to lose your top and you're going to do something you're going to regret and you're not going to be able to take it back. And that's going to be the end of that. And I need one of you to either, if you got a safe place to go to hang out for the night till things cool down, we'd always make sure that one of the persons, mostly the aggressor, would have to leave for the night. But here's the problem. What was happening a lot of times is that in the past, what was happening a lot of times is the aggressor would come back only to unalive their spouse when the cops were not around. Or they would try to play the cool, I made a mistake, I'm good, this, that, and the other. Officer, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything crazy. Next thing you know, that individual is found unalive. So then they put that law in that came in effect quite a while back that if there was any signs of any domestic of any sort, mentally, verbally, especially physically, someone was going to jail. And it wasn't because they wanted to be the bad guy. It was because they didn't want someone to be a statistic. You understand what I'm saying? So those are probably the most horrible calls to go to are domestic violence issues. Because you don't know when you have to make a decision whether someone's going to jail or not. That's when everything gets conflated because now the other half starts to worry, well, who's going to pay the bills and how long is this going to cost us this and blah, 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 blah. And then they turn on the officer. This is why these are one of the hardest and most dangerous, literally, cases to handle. That's just fact. Good morning, Al. Good morning, everyone. I am late, but here, but better late than never, Al. Good to have you. Fin, I have an opinion on this, but it might not be appropriate to say. Say it, just with be careful with the words you use, but say it. Absolutely. Go ahead. If you are the unhappy with life and full of rage, nobody else needs to be hurt if you know what I mean. Yes, absolutely. If it's that, I used to tell people, look, man, if it's that bad, move on. And I know it's easy to say, but really move on. Because the only thing that's going to happen is someone's going to make a mistake that you cannot turn back. And inevitably, you will end up being locked up for a long time. And you will have destroyed everything, especially if there was kids involved. So, I have worked in many of these cases, more than I can count. And it's a very tough situation to be in. But here's the thing, the law makes it clear. If there is any signs of violence, physically violence, or anything of the nature, someone's going to jail, and it's going to probably be the obviously the aggressor. It's not always the man. Sometimes it's the woman, but nevertheless, someone's going to jail, and it's usually going to be the aggressor, determined by the officer at that call. Hello, April, says Marianne. Finn, exactly. L. Carol, Marianne, Finn. I know, and I know it is easier said than done. No, without a doubt. But sometimes that's the best thing to do is just walk away. Doug, if you want to talk domestic violence, bring me on panel. Yeah, I'm going to hold up on that, Barney, because, yeah, this is kind of one of those things where I wasn't going to plan to bring anybody on panel, even Chris or Doug, if they came in, or anybody. I just wanted to get the story out there to you all, give you the details, and then move forward. Um, just because of the nature of this case here. But thank you so much. If I change my mind, I will definitely bring you on. I appreciate that. So, the domestic violence experts saying that these are the reasons usually why the individuals they don't want to call. They think it's going to be worse, or they think it's going to be the guy, the in this case the guy or the woman's going to be more nastier, and it's probably going to hurt them or try to hurt them. Thank you, Barney, for understanding. I appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Please click that like, subscribe. Click like, subscribe, and share the stream, everybody. So they now know the calling involving law enforcement could put them or their family at risk. That's one of the things that they were saying. If they call law enforcement, then it's going to put them at risk. And, let's be honest. If that is happening, the domestic violence is occurring, it ain't going to get any better. Because if they haven't seen the light from the beginning, they're not going to see the light at the end. I mean, it's not going to get any better. That's just from everything I have learned in handling a lot of these cases. Your best bet is just to part ways before someone does do something drastic that you're going to regret. That's usually what I tell everybody. So they talked a little bit about getting some information as far as, they were talking to these people and whatnot. So in essence, that is the information they have. And the problem is that there is no easy solution, right? Every decision, especially when you're dealing with the domestic violence, is very serious because it could go from a snap totally off rails. And in this case, it's exactly what happened. It was all leading to this, all leading to this. At some point, there had to be signs. And who knows, maybe the 78-year-old who was unalived, maybe she was trying to tell her son and or the grandson, depending on who it is. I think that would have been her mom. So, and the reason I say that is because she had to have said, son, it's not worth it. Don't do this. You're going to regret it. Or maybe she was telling him, don't do this. He didn't like her, felt she was taking her side, and decided, you know what, you're just as bad as the rest. Always happens. We see that all the time. I used to see that a lot as far as handling these cases. That's one of the things they would say. The saddest part of the case looks like this is the children. Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Because those kids are not going to be able to literally put this out of their mind. They're not going to be able, to comprehend. And maybe if they're little babies or something, that's one thing. But if these are, 5, 6, 7 year olds, like his daughter was 7, that was there, yeah. And what could possess someone to do that? Just the loss of his compassion for human life, the loss for compassion and love for his family. In this case, it's probably what exactly drove it. So we now know that she was going to shut the business down because him and her did not, for some reason, they were at differences of some sort. And he probably found out, and you're right, April, he probably got upset, and that's why he took it out on his loved ones, not necessarily the kids that were innocent in this. And here's the thing, when I say his loved ones, he didn't have no love for them, because if he did, he would have never done that. So don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying loved ones because they were married, they had a kid, but there was he couldn't have had any love to do that type of unaliving like that in that manner. That would be crazy to say. I guess is my opinion. But yeah, that's the story so far. That is what's been said. Um, I don't know if they were going under. I don't know if they weren't, but it didn't say anything about that. The direct reasoning that they gave was that the lady was going to go ahead and shut it down because him and her couldn't, for whatever reasons, I guess for a better lack of words, couldn't get along, you know? And yeah, that was that. It's just heartbreaking when you read stuff like this and you see it. But picture now, and I know I'm deviating a little bit, but picture now taking this on the officer's perspective. He gets this call. He gets another call. Maybe a week from now, same thing. Maybe 6 months from now, he gets another call that he has to deal with another domestic. You see how that compounds on the mind, how that plays into that narrative. And then one day he says, "You know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of life. Tired of seeing what I've been seeing." Has a few drinks, says, I'm going to call it a night, a long night. I'm going to call it, I'm done." And that happens, everybody. That happens a lot. A lot. That's why it happens a lot in the military as well. When you come back from combat, you are never the same. You look at life differently. You look at things so differently. I can tell you that everybody that I grew up with, acquaintances of mine, people that I knew, I mean, we were tight growing up. I don't even talk to any of them. You know why? It's not because I don't like them. It's just because we live in two different worlds. And what I see, they can't see. I know what they see because I grew up with them. But what I have seen, they cannot see. They cannot begin to understand. So therefore, I stick to the people that I can relate to and they can relate to me. Yeah, no doubt. So that was a case. That was the case, literally, with the Browns. And look, violence is never the issue. Let's just be honest. Violence is never the issue on anything. I don't care if it's the political world. I don't care if it's the Christianity world. I don't care if it's someone's personal life. It's never the issue. No one has that right to take someone else's life. Nobody. Nobody. So, any questions? Any questions at all? Any. Didn't want to be the, as they would say, the Debbie Downer for a beginning of a Saturday day, but you know, there's a lot there, man. There's a lot there. And now we look at the case, we could look at the case up in Michigan in New Haven, where the husband unalived his wife and his 6 kids, 2 by adoption. Think about that one for a minute. You remember that one, right? The one from New Haven, Michigan. The husband unalived his whole family and then took his life. Angel Eyes. Hi, everyone. Good to have you, Angel Eyes. You know what I'm saying? Barney says, facts are facts, dog, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well said, Barney. Well said. But you remember that case we're dealing with in Michigan, in New Haven? And there was some rumors and stuff that I'm not even going to get into because those haven't been like pointed out. Although the wife did write some stuff on, I believe it was Facebook, about how she had, or something to the effect of he had cheated on her with somebody else who was working at the company that he was working at, and so forth and so forth. So, but yeah, just to go ahead and unalive somebody, literally, he unalived his 4 kids, his wife, and his 2 adopted kids. So altogether, 6 of his kids. He unalived and then unalived himself. What a coward! What a coward! I'm sorry. What a coward! Hey, you take everybody out and then you're going to take yourself out so you don't have to deal with the repercussion. That's a coward. Always will be a coward. Any takes anybody. Any comments, questions, or as they would say in the Marine Corps, any bitches, moans, or complaints. Sorry, I had to say that because that's just one of the things the military always says. So, hi, Angel Eye, says Marianne. Welcome in, welcome in. Did anybody watch Mark the Shark yesterday? I'm sure everybody watched him. I'm going to change topics because it looks like no one really has any questions on what we discussed. But hey, that's all good. It's not an easy topic to go ahead and discuss. Marianne says, yes, Carol. Okay, so I have a question for you guys, okay? Anybody who watched Mark the Shark. What was he talking about at the end about seeing the and if you want to come up, I'm more than happy to have you up. You can come up and explain it to me. I'll send you a link. But can anybody tell me what was it that he saw? Did he say something about seeing the curtains move, or because it made it sound very like spooky, like it seems like people were on walking on eggshells. Can anybody explain to me? Does anybody want to come up here and explain it to me as to what was being said, so you don't have to type forever, or if you want to type forever, that's fine too. Barney says, I miss Mark's show. I caught the very ending and it seemed like it was like, I don't know, like woohoo, suspicious, that type of thing. And I was like curtains were moving or drapes were moving. Do we know what was going on? Yes, I did. I didn't see any of it. The man that was there early in the day, he came back and was sitting in the same. Oh, so the guy that said he was the one that talked to JLR, that said he was what was it? Wanted, or he was like I forgot what word he used. He went back at night. Interesting. You can come on in and explain. Anybody can come in and explain if it's easier. If not, just write out what you want to write out. Get your fingers moving. Fin, where do I begin? He thought he saw the blinds move. Okay, I did hear him say that, but I was like, I was going back and I couldn't see anything, so I just wanted to know. Like, wow, I thought he was arrested. Well, that's what I thought. I thought they arrested him because he said he was a fugitive. That's the word they use. Yes. Carol, he was wanted, says Carol. Fin, yes, and Mark came back. So this happened earlier in the day, right? This happened, I guess, with who? JLR. And then later that night, he came back to the same place, to the same house. Is that what I'm hearing? Oleg, that man just disappeared off the spot. Mark had his drone up. We don't know where he. Oh, interesting. Doug, welcome in. Doug, do you know what was going on with Mark the Shark last night? What in the world? Why is he at Nancy's? Interesting. Doug, Carolina, I saw bits and pieces of it. I watched JLR's trip to downtown Tucson on replay this morning. Angel Eyes, hi Doug. Doug, did you watch anything dealing with that? No idea. Okay. No worries. Marianne, I didn't see that part. Sorry, no problem. He's 60 years old. He looked a little bit out there, I guess is what I would say. Keep me awake all night. I was worried about SE as he sat outside her property. Really? So, I mean, what happened? Was there anything encounter? Was there any threats, or was there any or it was just the mysterious man appeared again? Is that what I'm hearing? The mysterious man shows up again after earlier. Fin says Sleuth was proposing, not accusing him of being a porch perp. Okay. So Sleuth was proposing, not accusing him of being a porch perp. Barney, Sue Yellen didn't catch him if was in her neighborhood. Go figure, right? Don't look at the person who probably has some issues going on. Look at the streamers who are just trying to cover Nancy. Unreal. Can't make that up, everybody. Oleg, it's where he went and got out of there because he never walked anywhere on the road. So he just went right to that house and just sat there. Marianne, his ex account is really strange. So he even has an ex account. Interesting. But I thought they arrested him. I thought that's what was said, that they ended up arresting him, that he was arrested. Did that not happen? We know. Oh, we know his name. You even know his name? Interesting. He never accused him. Right. I get that, Fin. He never accused him. Oleg he just vanished, like he was gone. So you're saying when he was out there with Mark the Shark could see him on his drone, but then all of a sudden he was gone. He was nowhere to be seen. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah, that's what they said yesterday on our live we were covering. Somebody came on and said that this guy was arrested. Oleg, he had to have gone through the gardens. Yeah. I mean, that would be creepy. You're watching this guy. You're seeing this guy. You know this guy came there once. Now he comes there again. And you're watching him with your drone, and then all of a sudden you can't see him anymore. Yeah, that would be a little bit freaky. All I remember at the end was Mark saying, I got to go get my truck. Because the rain or the clouds were moving in. And he's like, I got to go get it. And he left his stuff there, and he went and got his truck and loaded up and left. I don't know his name, but if his ex account is known, we probably know his name. If he says he's a fugitive, the law enforcement should have been notified. I thought they did pick him up because I did hear that. Oh my, look at X. Yes, he was accused of unaliving a family member with a cleaver. Oh my Lord Jesus. He's not arrested. Holy, I would have called it in. I would have called it in. It was odd behavior under what's happening without a doubt. But with the cleaver, Wally the cleaver. Wow. That is interesting. Maybe he did his time already in prison. Maybe he did it when he was a kid and he did his time, and now he's like he paid for his sins, but he looks like he may have not changed his whole repertoire, if you will. Ole, I would have called it in a heartbeat myself. Fin Fan, I will check X. Thank you, L. Thank you, Fin Fan. Sling Blade, right? Right? That's what I'm thinking. Sling Blade. I watched that movie. That was a crazy movie, Sling Blade. Oh yeah. I think it was wasn't it the guy who played it, Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade? That was a good movie. Good movie. Fin, whose page is this info on? Whose page says L says Fin, whose page is this info on? Barney said yes. Carol said yes, DD. Oleg says he knows the area as he once lived around and worked there. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. He actually lived there. He lived around there and he worked there. Oh wow. He doesn't look like any size of any the porch guy or anything like that. And yeah, that would have kind of shook me too. I'm not gonna lie. He knows the area. He once lived around and worked there. Hell, if he is out there again, Ellie should be called. That is disturbing. Calling on streamers, but don't call about a fugitive hanging out more than one time. What in the world? Without a that's well said, El. Well said. Without a doubt. I mean, that's crazy. Carol, I agree. I mean, could you imagine that? Gosh, man, now I'm gonna have to worry about when I go out there about weirdos coming out there. That's nuts. Barney, could be the guy is just a loose nut wandering around. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. He looked kind of I don't know, like really out there. I seen they showed a picture, Mark showed a picture that I think I think it was JLR who had a picture of him and Mark showed a picture of him and he said, "Man, I mean, this guy looked a little bit like creepy, kind of like who would I equate him to in my opinion? Almost like a Charlie Manson, you know, that type. Can you see Charlie Manson in him? Could be the guy is just a loose nut. Thank you, Fin Fan. This is actually concerning in my opinion. Yeah, no doubt. I don't care for the people in the neighborhood doing what they have done, but they're human beings. I'm worried about their safety. No, I agree. Oleg, yes. Yes. That's what I'm thinking. Charlie Manson to the fact. That's what he looked like to me. Like he was still back in the, 60s and 70s, And he dressed like he was in the 60s and 70s from what I saw. So this dude has been there just hanging around. and has showed up multiple times. Sounds like the streamers. He didn't have no camera with him, though, Doug. That's a good point. That is a good point. So this dude has been just there hanging around and has showed up multiple times. I like the stream. I like that. That's a good. That's funny. Dog, pack tight when you travel. I know that you know what I mean. I get it. I get it. I do get it. Oh, that is just nuts, everybody. Yes, Doug. However, this dude is a fugitive. It's almost like that show, The Fugitive. Remember that? And admitted it. Like that's the part I don't understand. Why would he even tell anybody I'm a fugitive? I'm a fugitive. Hey, I'm a fugitive. But then you look at the picture that Mark the Shark had of that guy, and he doesn't look like he's got any French fries in his Happy Meal, literally. Like they just gave him the sliced apples in his little, McDonald box, and that was it. Google 8 count. JLR talked to him more. He even told JLR that he knew him. Oh wow. Now I'd be worried if I was JLR. You know? Could you see him running outside out of the out of the bushes, out of those tree bushes that they have there in the desert, running out there and having another cleaver in his hand? Boy, that would be crazy. FinFan, it will come up. Pam, Didi, and Chad, can you see my comments? I have been commenting and doesn't say anything about what I say. I guess YouTube is messing up. Pam, I haven't seen any comments, sweetheart, that you have posted except that one. I haven't seen any comments at all, Pam. None. Just that one you just posted. And I'm going back to like 9:55. Yeah, that is probably YouTube just literally, YouTube, good old damn YouTube. I don't see anything about 8 count. I see you, Pam. Barney, that guy may just say he's a fugitive to sound tough. That's what I said yesterday, Barney. Maybe he just wanted he's got to say something because he's he's just about as big as I don't know. He's tiny, I guess is what I would say. Tiny. A dear friend of mine looks just like Manson, but was a sweetheart. Oh God, I could only imagine. I could imagine him playing Manson during Halloween. FinFan, what Google you using? FinFan, what Google you using? Pan commented early in the stream. Yeah, very early, and that was it. Thank you. I will go out and back in to see if that helps. Good deal, Pam. I see 8 count app, laughing out loud, and a dance studio in Maryland when I look up 8 count. Interesting. FinFan, Google it, not YouTube. Got you. Google it, and you'll see that. Oleg, his record says otherwise. It was his child he tried to Oh, wow. Got another one of them. Barney, a legend in his own mind, right? Without a doubt. Well said, Barney. Carol, exactly, Oleg. Wow. Click that like, everybody. Share the stream. Interesting. Very interesting. So I'm wondering what I'm going to call. I know I'm going to go to Nancy's house. I know I'm going to drive around in that area just to see what it feels like. But I wonder, I'm not going to go in the washes because that's out of my element. I'm not from there, nor do I want to go out in the wash areas. But I wonder, like, what else really should I do when I go down there? I see you, Pam. I see you, Pam. Pam, just checking to see if, yes, I can see you. Thank you, Carol. I guess YouTube was messing up. Tarek, good morning, Tarek. Good morning, Dee Dee. Good to have you. April, isn't a fugitive on the run? Yeah, that's what it means. Fugitives on the run. He wasn't. He wasn't. Why wasn't he picked up? I have no idea. Maybe the Pima County Sheriff's Office was afraid of him. Maybe Nanos. Maybe he's relation to Nanos. I mean, I don't know, but it's possible. I guess. I mean, to use a cleaver or to try to use a cleaver, I could think of a lot of easier ways than with the cleaver for sure. I don't know who is, but I am going to keep digging today because I'm nosy, but more so because I'm concerned for the people there. Well said, Al. Well said. Maybe he knows Sue Ellen, and that could be it. That could very well be it. Two peas in a pod, probably, in my opinion. FinFan says, okay, well, see what happens. Some people get more sentencing with marijuana than manslaughter these days. Yeah, right? That is true. Well said, FinFan. Well said. Well said. That is nuts. So there's nothing new on Alina Moore's case. I'm going to kind of get back to the topic. There's nothing more. There's nothing new there. I mean, there's a couple of pieces, but it's not anything that we haven't really talked about. So there's nothing going on in the Alina Moore right now. We're still waiting. I had to be her property. It had to be her property. He went on as he never was seen on the road. Ole, why come back after the first move away? What was he doing to come back? Oh my god, I found him. Yikes. At his X page. FinFan, sad but true. Ole, exactly. FinFan, 1985, told you out loud, April. Maybe the porch perp hired him to go check property to see if anyone was around the way this case is. It's a good possibility, but I think he'd bring more attention than anything, wouldn't he? I mean, if he saw something like that walking around, he'd be like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So, what was it? Was there any more? Barney, was it you that said you watched a little bit of some a new case or something with not a new case, but something with Nolan Wells? Anybody heard any updates on that? Where they're at? Oh, I think someone said the Juice had did a live and was talking about it, and it was really interesting. What did they mention? What did the Juice mention? He is 60 years old, but does not look it. The Pima County corruption on X. On my right. Yes, on the Juice earlier this morning. Could it be SC's son? Very possible. I don't know. Tarek, apparently the mother gave Nolan's phone to Ellie finally. Apparently the mother. Oh, that's good. Thank God for that. I'm not sure why. I mean, I know they wanted to preserve and make sure they had the phone, but yeah, at some point, why wait for a subpoena, right? Why wait for a subpoena? Why not just yeah? And let's see what they find out on that phone. That'll be interesting. Yeah, sure, Doug. Okay, here you go, Doug. Just when I was talking earlier on that case, I didn't want to have anybody on board. But yeah, now, yeah, that's fine. There you go, Doug. Tarek, a couple of streamers are going to be searching for Nancy by Tucson later today. Well, I heard also that, what is it? Uh, cases and something in cases and Max are going to be up there today. Did I hear that right? Okay, here you go, Barney. I'm going to send you a link, Barney.
I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to send. Oh, okay, I'm going to. You're in here already.
Yes,
All
sir.
all right, let me bring you up. Uh, all right, all right. Why is it saying? Oh, you know what? I'm going to go to this. This is what I need to do.
I just have a black picture anyway.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Doug, did you come in at all? Because Doug. Okay, you're in. You're in. Okay, yeah. Now you're there.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, good, good, good. Doug, there's a link again. Just letting you know, my friend. Okay, tell me, Barney, what was going on with the juice? What was interesting?
Um, it's a little hard to explain. Um, the juice was showing somebody else's show on his,
Uh huh.
not live, not live, but his show was live. And this other person's show that he was showing nerdy pink penguin information.
Nerdy pink penguin. Okay.
Okay. And this lady was breaking down Tatum's interview with the three boys.
Okay.
And there are a few F bombs in there, but she was breaking down the various stories that they have and timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite interesting. I only got to listen to it once. It's one of those things you need to listen to a few times.
Okay.
But what I was gathering was quite interesting. I can't even explain it at this point without watching it again one or two
Got you.
more times. But the lady that was breaking everything down is Nerdy Pink Penguin.
Nerdy pink penguin. Is
I
that
don't
like
know.
nerdy attic?
Uh, all I know is she was referred to as Nerdy Pink Penguin. I don't know
Okay.
if that's all one word.
Got you.
I'm not sure if it's separated. That I don't know, but it,
Got you.
the things that she was pointing out was very interesting. And I'm like, whoa, wait, I need to hear this a couple of more times.
Got you. I'll pull it. Definitely pull it up and check it out myself and see like what it basically says.
Yeah, it's a lot of breaking down um, of things, and it does take a little while. So, if it wasn't for the F bombs, you could probably play it on here, but you'd want to watch it first. because there's just extra time taken up that you could just skip through.
Got you. Okay. Fin, not early attic. Haha. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I did.
I was watching it when you came on. I'm like, oh, gotta go.
Hell, I missed it too late, Derek. I didn't stay long, but I did see the Juice play the video of Nolan's friends, mom and dad. Got you.
It
Where'd
would
you
have.
go? Where'd Doug go? Doug,
I,
if you're
I
there.
haven't I haven't seen him yet. It says two people in chat studio.
Hmm.
I don't know if that counts you as well, or if he's floating around in here somewhere lost.
Yeah, he must be floating because he was just in here and then he dropped out. I just
But
didn't.
I, I, you know, I'm thinking that the juice was on. This was on at about 3 o'clock our time this morning.
Got you.
I could be off with the time changes there, but I was watching around 8 o'clock, and I think his time read 3 o'clock. I could be wrong.
There you go, Doug.
Hey there. The second time since I joined. I had to restart my internet.
I keep having the same issue.
It's so weird.
Fin says people in that room attack me. Yeah, no, I get it. There's a lot of trolls out there, man. I was watching a little bit of JLR's the other day, just a little bit, and my God, there was trolls left and right. I was
Try
like,
not to watch the chat sometimes.
it's really like I was just like, wow. Says Fin says love Jews, hate his followers. They personally email me and attack me.
on juices from juices. I'm shocked.
Yeah, that's what Fin just said.
Wow. And how did they get your email address?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't stay awake to watch late night streamers, but sometimes watch replays. Yeah, me neither, April. It's just that 3 hours. It's just too much for me to try to stay up late. You know.
I sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. I have to take sleep medication, and I try to take it, so that
Right.
I'm not up all night long. I have to function during the day.
Right.
So, Doug, did you hear what I was saying about Juice's show?
I heard pieces of it.
Yeah, Nerdy Pink Penguin.
That was about Nolan though, right? Nerdy Pink Penguin.
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
That was about Nolan. I don't personally know anything about her. I've never seen her show. If she has a show, I don't know. But the Juice was just kind of breaking it down, and it showed an interview with Tatum and the three boys together doing an interview.
Yeah, there's been a couple now. I know we watched parts of it. If we finished it, you could have seen a lot of the weird stuff that they said more towards the end.
Yeah.
And the lawyer, if you pan out and watch the lawyer, he like touches his hat every now and then. Like they're doing baseball, like they're doing baseball signals, like over certain questions. And
did you see? I can't quote when it was. Nancy Grace did an interview with two of the attorneys for Nolan's case, and one was wearing a hat, the other wasn't. But
we watched part of that interview too the other day.
Did you see how the attorney at the bottom of the screen looked like the cat that ate the mouse occasionally, just grinning but not saying a word?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
They were strange birds. Strange birds for sure.
Yeah. And then I think the first lawyer that was on, the heavier set man, did he not state his clients like he's sorry, my phone's going off and I want to ignore it.
Yeah, he only represents 2 of the boys though.
Now, isn't that a conflict of interest? How can you represent 2
No,
boys?
because it's only civil. It's not. There's no criminal yet, so it's only a civil lawyer.
Oh, okay.
You can enter into group things.
If it's civil.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was criminal, you could still have the same lawyer. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but
Me either.
I
No
think
way.
they could even be tried together, really. They could have the same trial. Like, if someone was committed a crime together, they could be tried together if their lawyer chooses to go that route.
That I don't know.
It does happen. It's rare, but it can happen.
I would just find that pretty iffy to do something like that, because if you have one that's innocent and one that's guilty.
Exactly. Yeah. I would never advise that, but you never know.
Everything is strange right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of strangeness for sure. For sure. I gotta watch. I gotta at least see this Manson looking guy.
Yeah, he definitely looks like Charlie Manson, man.
Oh, you said that, and I think of my friend that just passed away. He was the spitting image of Charlie Manson. If you went anywhere with him, people would just stop.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
and
funny.
he was just a little guy, skin and bones, and just everything about him. If you lost him in a store, you could just ask people. His name was not Charlie, but just ask, "Hey, has anybody seen Charlie?"
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty bad. No, I got you, Fin Fan. I support Jews. It's people in this chat, not Jews. I get it.
Yeah,
Derek, Fin Fan, exactly. Jim, welcome in, Jim.
Yeah. The only reason why I brought anybody else's name into this was just because of the interview that he was showing, and it does spark interest.
No, I agree. I totally agree. It's hard to avoid it, But
So
yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said, I went to a few other people's chats, and man, they were like getting hammered by trolls left and right. I was like, Jesus, Lord of mercy! Like, there's got to be better things to do in life,
I just avoid them. Unfortunately.
Click ignore or block or whatever and go on with life.
No, just to chat altogether. I'm more in the smaller guys chats.
Yeah.
I can't deal with all the trolls. I'm a mod for a lot of people, so I can't just block them all, because then I won't see them when they come into our chat rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought of that.
I don't block anybody. I have not one person blocked. So,
and usually
with devil dogs, I want to see what they're saying so I can handle them if I need to.
This is the only chat that I read. The rest, I've got things to do, and I just listen to them. But this one, I stop everything.
Oleg says, I am more a watcher than a chatterer. Hate the drama. I only comment here below. I can understand that,
Oleg.
This is a safe place, and excellent people, great mods, and it's a good community.
Right.
And there's nothing more coming about the lady in Mississippi. I always forget her name. I know it starts with a T.
Oh,
Tasia.
yeah.
I actually got a few things on that case.
You have some
What's-
things on that?
A couple
Oh.
little updates, yeah. Well, not updates, but tidbits
Well, let's hear it.
on the. So the guy that we know that they arrested, his name was Terry or Tyler. I didn't write it down. Well, whatever. The guy with the dreads and stuff. He
Right.
is actually one of her son's father, and he
Okay.
lives in the house right next door. And Tasia's last known address was with him. And it was said that Tasia was actually staying in that abandoned house at that time because they had a fight and split
Right.
up or whatever. So she was supposedly staying in that house.
Got you.
Who had the children?
Hello, Jim.
She had other kids. I think they were back in Kentucky. I don't think they all have the same father.
Okay,
And
so she must not have had direct daily contact with them.
I don't believe so. No, they both are said to also have problems with drug addiction, specifically the crack cocaine.
She did?
They both did. Her
Okay.
Thank you,
and
Pam. Appreciate that.
so I think when the mom comes out and says that she was looking better and doing good and in good spirits and all that stuff, that's what she was probably referring to, was she was not doing the drugs.
Oh.
She was in recovery. So yeah, that's a little bit I have on that.
Interesting.
So she was familiar with that area and specifically that road.
Oh, that's damn interesting. Well, what'd you guys think of the earlier case we covered? Any comments?
What did you talk about, dog?
Yeah, we
The
talked
daycare
about
one?
the daycare one. Yes.
Yeah, I missed it all.
Right. It's been good, man. It's been good. We've all been having good conversation. It's been really good. Good for a good conversation for sure.
Sorry, my internet dropped.
Oh, you're good, sweetheart. No worries. April, I appreciate all of DD's kids, so kind, and he keeps his channel drama free. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't. I don't really like drama, man. I really don't.
Mm-mm.
I just
People
don't
can
have
take
time
it
for it.
elsewhere.
My life is so busy and hectic that I got enough going on. I don't need any other, nonsense.
Agreed. Life's too short.
Life is way too short. Well said.
But I was just wondering why no one had reported this young lady missing.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. I don't think I ever even talked about that, but yeah, that's a good point. Why didn't no one report her missing?
She's a beautiful girl. Someone
Yep.
had to miss her.
You would think. You would
Most
think.
definitely. I think she bounced around a lot, so
That
she
could
was
be.
she was in Kentucky like the last time her mom seen her was just a few days prior to that, like maybe a week. And then she went from Kentucky back to Mississippi. So, and
Maybe
I don't
people
think
just
anybody had noticed she was missing yet to report her missing,
right.
unless
They
it
may
was
have.
the boyfriend or whatever next door. But then he got arrested, so
Yeah, I
they're
wasn't aware
probably waiting on him.
I wasn't aware he had been arrested. That's interesting.
Yeah, they did pick up one person, but it was on unrelated drug charges or gun weapons charges. Because he's a
Ooh.
felon, he's not supposed to have weapons. So either when
Oh,
they went to question him or pulled him over, however they got in contact with him, he had a firearm. So
whoops.
they locked him up for that, putting pressure on him because I think they believe that he may have had part in this.
Wow.
Where's Casper Chris this morning? I have no clue. Please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. Pam says, I meant Ma, YouTube is playing with me today. They need to leave me alone. Jim, Pam, Jim, these drama queens just want trouble anyway, Dee Dee. I agree. Terry, there's little packs of drama queens. Carol Burton, I agree. Terry. Interesting.
Well, plus I think this cat has enough reputation for people to realize if you're a troll, we just shut you down.
Right.
We aren't so heavily populated that we can't keep track.
When I see a lot of people, a lot of streamers are telling people to identify themselves when they go to the chat for the stream, not streaming, but what is that called? When Discord.
Oh, yeah.
They're telling people to go ahead and identify who you're with and whatnot, and I'm like, really? It's that bad?
Oh, it's that bad. There's entire channels and platforms dedicated to just trolling and taking down certain streamers.
That is crazy.
That's what Chris was talking about the other day.
I tried to set up a Discord. I failed twice and quit.
Yeah, they're even a lot of them are even turning their attention towards some mods.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But they don't have better things to do.
I guess not. No.
Angry little people.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the big reason why I just don't go into them chats. A lot of them, they're like little infiltrators too. They're in there spying and pretending to be other people, and then just causing ruckus.
That I have picked up on. They changed their names going into different chats.
Yep. But there's thousands of them. It's not like it's just a handful of people. There's thousands of them. Thousands and thousands. Like,
I can't imagine the time it takes for these people to put that much effort in. Why bother? Just
April says why I only mod. April says why I only mod a couple channels, all small streamers. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I could see maybe doing 2 or 3 max, but other than that, like, no. I don't want to do all those multiple split screens. If another one came along and asked me to be a mod and I knew it wasn't going to conflict with this, then I might say yes. But other than that, no. I'd rather dedicate myself to one place.
Right.
Where I can do my job and monitor.
Absolutely. Pretty Little Clues. Good morning again. Who is the lady with us this morning? It's Barney. PLC. Hello.
Barney. Hello.
Hi,
good morning, everyone. Yeah, I have to find some kind of background for when I do the live.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to do it.
Well, get with Chris because Chris is the one that did mine. I mean, not my background right now, but he's the one that did a lot of the pictures for me.
Yeah,
And
just something that doesn't show my face.
ocean waves. Good morning. Welcome in, Jim. What's going on, PLC? Anything going on? Your neck of the woods, Jim, Justine. Good morning.
So, dog, I have a case that I've been following,
Okay.
and there were 7 suspects.
Okay.
The 4 out of 7. The 4th one just pled guilty. So far, 4 out of 7 have just pled guilty.
4 out of 7 just pled guilty.
Yep, one at a time over probably the course of 6 months or so. One at a time so far have pled guilty. So 4 out of 7 have pled guilty.
Okay. What's the case?
The case is Sam Nordquist.
Stan Norquist?
Nordquist. He he lived in Minnesota. He
Okay.
met a lady online in New York and agreed to come meet with her, and she and 6 other people took his life.
He met a lady in where?
Online in New York.
In New York.
Yep. So he came to New York, and she and 6 other people unalived him.
Wow.
Yeah. It's beyond pathetic what happened to this man. The details are kind of gruesome.
Stan Norquist.
Sam, S-A-M.
Oh, Sam. I'm sorry. Sam.
Yep.
Sam Norquist.
Nordguist.
Sam Norquist.
Nord.
Okay, Norquist. There you go.
Oh, duh. I could have spelled it right here for you.
Oh, you're good. I got it now. Good deal. I'll look into that and see. Now, did the lady plead? Is she one of the ones that pleaded guilty?
Yes. I think 3 women and 1 man so far have pled guilty.
Oh wow. 3 women and 1 man. What's the other 3 holding out for?
I'm not sure. The case is kind of tight-lipped, but a lot of details have been brought to light as well. I'm sure. We have their names, but I just don't know what's holding up the other 3 trials or pleas. But it's a very sick case. But sadly, through some of these tragic events is what wakes the world up and goes, wait, no, this is not okay.
Oh wow.
It's a rude awakening.
Yeah, you got to be careful on them damn online deals. You got to be very careful.
Remember when we were little?
Uh-huh.
I think I'm a little bit older than you.
Just a tad bit.
I'm
Just-
6, proud of it.
Just a tad bit. You're like, yeah, you're just a tad bit, literally.
We were taught you don't talk to strangers, you don't get in a car with strangers. And now here we are wide open on this world wide web
Yep.
and talking to strangers, giving strangers some of our personal information. It goes against everything we were taught as children.
No, I mean, there's a lot of the things that we dealt with are so different in today's world. It's so different because literally it's just the idea that the influence that plays on everybody, with all the cell phones and digital and obviously all the social medias. It's overbearing at a lot of times for a lot of these young kids.
Oh, I can't imagine doing schooling, being online all the time, gamers, it it they aren't even afraid to be
Right.
online. They just do it. And even with Nolan's case,
Right.
uh, it made me think because everybody's, you know, they knew Katie, they didn't know Katie, blah blah blah. You watch any group of kids today, and as soon as they get together, what's one of the first things they talk about? Are you on Snapchat? Are you on TikTok? Blah blah
Yep.
blah blah. And they're exchanging information almost instantly like wildfire.
Yeah. Carolina girl said, so either LD is taking a possible plea deal. Pretty Little Clue says, yeah, which is weird because it makes you wonder what he got in return. I swear he's one of the waiters they they left him go in return for cooperation and assistance and getting more info. I agree with that, PLC. I totally agree with that. And Carol. Doug
But
still on Kayla Day.
that information will probably never see the light of day for us to know exactly what happened. Correct?
It may not, but there also may be there may be statements that inevitably you'll be able to figure it out. Kind of like when they were talking about the search warrants that were issued to Rico Rio and Daly. They were describing, Nanos was describing uh, both of those different scenarios. And in his description, you knew who he was talking about. You know what I mean? So I could see them doing that without a doubt. Um, but yeah, it's not like they're going to give us anything really.
Right. We have to dig and search and
Yeah,
assume.
yeah.
Assume.
A lot of times you have to assume it and make some hypothesis guesses and see if like how you can even exploit that more by turning these, for a better lack of worse, specifics into facts.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
It really is. It really truly is. Analyze Doug. Link again. You got it.
I'm surprised Chris hasn't chimed in yet.
Yeah, he's probably, who knows? He probably went to the beach again with his family, or there you go, Doug. He probably went to the beach with his family, or you know,
Taking a break, I hope.
taking a break. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I just gave it to him. There you go.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. I think that time was my fault. I hit the damn leave button.
Right.
Mine is just my internet goes out, and I have like 3 different IP addresses, and they keep fighting each other.
Huh.
Social media has caused an increase in crime in some ways, but has been helpful and double edged sword. Yeah, it really is, Hal. It really is. It's like it can be a very positive thing, but most people use it in a way where it's compromising a lot of the privacy, and in another tunnel or way to go ahead and with everything going on with kids, the sex trafficking and all that stuff, it's just so prevalent on the internet.
Well, I had a case. I work with special needs students a lot,
Hmm.
and I should say, I had a student. He was fully capable of reading and writing and doing math and everything, but when it came to the social skills, he lacked a lot of understanding,
Uh-huh.
and he liked to be online at home unsupervised.
Okay.
And he started playing some game. I think it might have been Diablo or something like that. I guess you can
Right.
chat while you're on the game.
Right.
And he said something at school to a bunch of boys that were pretending to be his friend.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, here's my information on the game. Let's hook up. Well, these boys turned out to be bullies. And they knew that this certain student had a big time crush on one of the girls in school. So they found out his ID on the game, and they started telling him that this girl sent him this message and that message. So he started really falling even harder and harder for this girl. And for the life of me, I could not get him to understand. These boys are making fun of you.
Right.
And I had him for 3 years, and even at the end of 3 years, he still couldn't comprehend what was happening. And the girl's family finally ended up filing a lawsuit against his parent. It's sad. It's sad because so many people don't understand what is happening.
Right.
He was a good kid, just wasn't socially where most people are.
Right. Well, see here.
One donut and a coffee, please.
No doubt, man. I need a coffee. I didn't have any coffee this morning. I needed to. I needed definitely coffee. I'm driving and listening, going to Duncan. Pretty Little Clues, Cat, Carol, Tarek, Sheriff Grady, Judd Polk, County, Florida. He has many task force and fights crime like you wouldn't believe. I believe it, no doubt. No problem, Carol. Be safe and enjoy.
Doug, where's your picture? I just see a D.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my thumbnail. It's weird. I gotta put it back up. I'm probably gonna use my frog that Flickr Fade painted me.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, she painted a picture and named the frog Little Doug. So
I I just have my camera tape. That gets old.
mm-hmm.
PLC says, I think Chris is straightening his hair.
Yeah, she's funny one, that guy. That Justine.
I wonder if he wants to borrow your heels, Doug.
He might.
I noticed how quick you picked up on that last night. That was funny.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dang, he's watching and listening all at the same time. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to break away at 11. I gotta meeting to go to with my siblings in reference to my brother who passed away. So I'm going to have to call this
Good dog.
live, and because I got to drive a little bit of distance to get there. So
Yep.
Are we on again at 5?
yes, we'll be on at 5. If for some reason something comes up, I will do a short video and let you know. So just keep an eye out for the short video.
Okay,
But
dog.
we will definitely do one at 5, barring
Okay.
something happening.
And people, like I said, if you get the chance, check out that nerdy pink penguin.
You got it.
Other than that, class dismissed till 5 p.m. Eastern
Awesome.
time.
Thank you, everybody. I hope the chat, this little thing that we covered today, was a good one for everybody. It's not always easy, but yes, we will be back at 5. Barney and Doug, thank you so much for being up here.
Thank you, dog. Semper Fi.
Semper
Thank
Fi.
you.
You
Appreciate
very
you so.
welcome. Semper Fi, my friend. You very welcome, Barney. God bless you all.
God bless.
Stay safe.
All right. Didi, lots of prayers and safe travels. Thank you, April. Appreciate that. Tarek, thanks, Didi. Have a good day. Hi, Gene. Thank you, Gene. Didi, hello and bye. I will see you guys at 5. Like I said, I have to take care of some important matters in reference to my brother who just passed. So we'll definitely get back at 5, barring something, and go from there. Appreciate you all. God bless you. Thank you. And always remember, it's all common sense, folks. Great to see you, CB. Later, Al. Love you all, guys. Love you all. Really do love you all. You guys are amazing. Thank you.